You know the name, you've seen the mustache, you've heard the horrors. But beneath the iron grip of tyranny lies a web of contradictions and missed chances that, if history had taken a different turn, might have meant a very different world today. This is the hidden side of Adolf Hitler. Before the world knew him as the architect of unimaginable suffering, a young Adolf Hitler harbored artistic ambitions. He longed to be recognized within the vibrant art scene of Vienna. Twice, the prestigious Vienna Academy of Fine Arts rejected his application, citing his inability to convincingly portray the human form. Ironically, it was the very subject he sought to dominate on a global scale that eluded his artistic grasp. His architectural sketches showed promise, but his portraits remained flat, lifeless. His artistic rejections left him adrift, a frustrated artist peddling postcards on the streets of Vienna. It was in these years of hardship that Hitler encountered the poisonous ideologies that would fester into the horrors of the Second World War. The man who sought artistic immortality through capturing the human form is now remembered for his role in extinguishing millions of lives. The legacy of the failed artist lives on, forever intertwined with the darkest chapter of human history. Adolf Hitler, the man who orchestrated the systematic extermination of millions, adhered to a strict vegetarian diet. He famously abstained from all forms of meat and fish, his meals consisting largely of simple fare like mashed potatoes and vegetable broth. Hitler was known to deliver impassioned lectures at dinner parties, decrying the cruelty inflicted upon animals. This apparent compassion for animals makes for a jarring juxtaposition with the horrors he inflicted upon humanity. While he wept for lobsters boiled alive, he turned a blind eye to the suffering of millions systematically murdered in his name. As the dark clouds of World War II gathered over Europe, even the world of sugary beverages was not immune to the conflict. The year was 1940, and Nazi Germany found itself increasingly isolated. Trade embargoes meant that even Coca-Cola was unable to penetrate the borders of the Third Reich. The German branch of Coca-Cola was forced to improvise, leading to the creation of Fanta Orange. Using leftover apple pomace and whey, they managed to create a new soda that captured the palates of the German people. Today, most consumers remain blissfully unaware of the beverage's wartime past. The image of Adolf Hitler, the seemingly invincible dictator, crumbles when one delves into his surprising phobia dentistry. Behind the facade of absolute power, lurked a man terrified of the dentist's chair. Hitler suffered from severe dental problems, leaving him in constant pain. Yet, despite the discomfort, he reportedly postponed dental treatments until the pain became unbearable. His personal dentist, Johannes Blaschke, revealed that Hitler had an almost childlike fear of dental procedures. He would delay appointments, requiring significant persuasion to even sit in the dentist's chair. The man who preached a doctrine of Aryan supremacy was himself plagued by debilitating dental problems. The propaganda machine might have portrayed him as an unyielding force, but his decaying teeth whispered a different story. The year is 1918. The battlefields of World War I are a maelstrom of mud, blood, and shattered landscapes. Amidst the carnage, a young British soldier named Henry Tandy finds himself face-to-face with a wounded German soldier. Rifle raised, finger on the trigger, Tandy has the enemy soldier in his sights. But in a moment of mercy, Tandy lowers his gun and lets the German soldier live. That soldier, according to some accounts, was none other than Adolf Hitler. Whether apocryphal or not, the story serves as a chilling reminder of the capricious nature of fate. By the 1940s, Hitler was not only waging war on multiple fronts but also battling his own deteriorating health. His personal physician Theodor Morell kept him afloat on a daily cocktail of pharmaceuticals. Hitler's regimen included methamphetamine, opiates, tranquilizers, and even cocaine drops. At the height of his drug dependency, Hitler was consuming between 20 and 30 pills a day. This pharmaceutical cocktail likely contributed to his increasingly erratic behavior and questionable judgment. Over 40 assassination attempts were made on Hitler's life, each one a potential turning point in history. Yet, time and again, he emerged unscathed. Perhaps the most famous attempt, Operation Valkyrie, unfolded in 1944. A group of high-ranking German officers planted a bomb-laden briefcase in a conference room where Hitler was meeting. The explosion ripped through the room, killing and injuring those present. Miraculously, Hitler survived, shielded by the heavy oak table leg he was standing beside. Singed, bruised, but alive, he emerged from the wreckage, his resolve hardened. Whether through sheer luck or timing, Hitler seemed to possess an almost supernatural ability to evade death. While the world watched Adolf Hitler's rise to power, a shadowy figure remained hidden: Eva Braun, Hitler's longtime mistress and, in the final hours of the Third Reich, his wife. For years, Eva Braun lived a life shrouded in secrecy, tucked away in Hitler's mountain retreat, the Berghof. Hitler believed that any public acknowledgement of a romantic relationship would diminish his appeal. Eva Braun accepted her role as the silent partner, her existence carefully erased from official records. In the spring of 1945, as the Red Army closed in on Berlin, Hitler and Eva Braun finally married in a hastily arranged ceremony. 40 hours later, they chose to end their lives together. Adolf Hitler was more than just a dictator. He was a living, breathing paradox. He preached a gospel of hate while harboring a peculiar love for animals. He sought to create a master race while battling his own physical deterioration. He craved artistic recognition but achieved infamy for his role in the destruction of countless works of art. His rise was fueled by a toxic cocktail of lies, paranoia, charisma, and violence. His end, a self-inflicted implosion amidst the ruins of his thousand-year Reich, was a final act of defiance. To understand Hitler is not to condone his actions but to grapple with the complexities of evil. The more we study the man behind the myth, the more we realize that evil does not always wear a monstrous face. And so, the life of Adolf Hitler, a life of such profound consequence, ultimately ends in a Berlin bunker. We are left to sift through the ashes to piece together the fragments of a life that forever altered the course of human history. The echoes of his atrocities still resonate, a stark reminder of the fragility of peace. Yet, even as we condemn his actions, we must strive to understand the man behind the monster. The legacy of Adolf Hitler is not one of triumph, but a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the human capacity for both good and evil.